Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Google Pixel 9 and compare it against the Google Pixel 4 and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you in almost every single way, a phone like the Google Pixel 9 is going to be the better one in almost every single way you can imagine it. And I cannot think of a reason or a way in which the Google Pixel 9 is a worse phone than the Pixel 4. So just kind of keep that in mind in the back of your head. The Google Pixel 4 is a substantially worse phone in every single way. And even when this phone came out back in 2019, I kind of thought this phone was not even that good of a phone, honestly, compared to the competition at that time. So kind of keep that in mind. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but if you do want to pick up some phones that I would recommend buying this year, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. So starting off with the outside of both these particular phones, the Google Pixel 9, or Google Pixel 4 that came out back in 2019, on the front of this phone is giving you a 5.7-inch OLED display. Now, I don't even know why they called it that at that time. I mean, there's some scientific reason for that. It was a 1080p panel, 90 Hz, and it wasn't a terrible screen or a terrible display. I thought it was okay. It got the job done for the most part. I think compared to some of the competition in 2019, it actually wasn't that bad. Compared to the Samsung phones of that year and the iPhones, this one was the only one that basically had the higher refresh rate besides the OnePlus phones at that time. So I do think that in and of itself was a really, really nice thing going on for this phone at that moment. So I would say from that perspective, this phone definitely gets a thumbs up for me. However, there was more bezel on this thing compared to some of the competition. I mean, there was a bottom bezel, top bezel a little bit. The bottom bezel wasn't too much, but the top bezel was kind of annoying a little bit compared to some other competition at that time. The Pixel 9, on the other hand, let's talk about this one. 6.3-inch OLED display, 120 Hz, 2700 nits of brightness. It is 1080p and the Pixel 4 did have a higher pixels per inch density. I will tell you in every single way you can imagine it, the Google Pixel 9 is a way better phone. It's a bigger phone, hole punch display, and it is just such a nice looking phone on that device, and I love having a phone like this that looks like this. In my personal opinion, I would definitely say the Google Pixel 9 is a much better looking phone in almost every single way you can kind of think about it. And that's something I love seeing, and that's something I love having, is having a phone like the Pixel 9 that's going to be giving you one of the better displays of all time. And this is one of the best displays you can basically get as of this point. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there too. USB Type-C ports on the bottom of both these phones, which are great. I love having USB-C. You're getting a interesting back on both of them. So in the Pixel 4, you're getting this kind of glass textured back depending on which model you had. I had this orange model before, which was a little different. On some of the other models, it was just a standard glass back. So that was something that was kind of interesting on these two. So I do think that in and of itself was another interesting thing going on here. With the Google Pixel 9, you're just getting your standard glass back on that model. You're getting dual camera setups on both, which were slightly different, which we'll talk about in a second. And you were getting some interesting things between both. Wireless charging between both, but the Google Pixel 9 is giving you reverse wireless charging, which again in and of itself is a really nice thing to have. I personally love having reverse wireless charging, and that is one of my favorite things going on for these types of phones. If I'm going to go through and pick up a device, I love having that type of capability there. And I would say this, again, in and of itself, is one of my most favorite things going on for that type of phone, or most Android phones that are, commonplace nowadays, about giving you that type of build, about giving you that type of reverse wireless charging. So I would say from that side, it definitely gets a thumbs up for me for sure. So from that area, that kind of covers it up there for the most part. Now on top of that, when it comes down to the camera quality, this is another very, very big thing going on here. So when it comes down to these cameras, the Google Pixel 4 is going to be giving you a dual camera setup. So 12.2 megapixel wide angle lens and then a 16 megapixel telephoto lens. And then the Google Pixel 9 is going to be giving you a 50 megapixel wide, then a 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. So you're going to be getting 4K at 60 on the back and the front on the Pixel 9, whereas on the Pixel 4, it's only giving you 4K at 30 on the back and 1080p at 30 on the front. So I would say this in and of itself can be kind of an issue you're going to be getting on that type of phone. On the Pixel 4, it's a good camera. It was a good camera when it first came out. It just really isn't that good of a camera anymore. And that is kind of the problem that you're going to be getting inside of something like the Google Pixel 4. So I would say if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that is kind of the issue, right? I like the Google Pixel 4, but the Pixel 9 is a substantially better phone in every single way you can imagine. And if I'm going to go through and buy a phone and recommend it to people, it's definitely going to be something like the Google Pixel 9. It's a way better phone, right? And having those extra features and having the better chipsets and having everything along those lines just means you're going to be getting a way better experience inside of something like the Google Pixel 9 than the Pixel 4. So when it comes down to that side, I will definitely say the Google Pixel 9 is just the better phone in almost every single way you can imagine it. And that is something I love about the Google Pixel 9. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there a little bit too. Now, in terms of the software longevity, this one is pretty easy. The Google Pixel 4 is pretty much already done getting software updates. So this was kind of the issue, not the issue, but that was kind of the thing that you're going to be getting inside of the Pixel 4, right? This phone has been done getting software support for a couple of, software updates now. So I would hate for you to go and buy that phone and already feel like you have an outdated device or feel like the phone's not good enough that you're getting. And that's kind of, again, what ends up happening when you're going through and getting those types of devices. So in my personal opinion, I would say from that particular side, it's just one of those things to keep in mind. If you're going through and picking up a phone, you're going to feel like that type of device isn't really going to be getting any more software improvements or features in the future compared to something like a Google Pixel 9 in this example. Like the Pixel 9 is going to be giving you a substantially better phone in basically every single way. And that's just kind of what ends up happening here. So from that side in and of itself, again, that kind of covers it up there. Now, on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that the Google Pixel 9 and the Pixel 4, they still have their software updates and they still have their performance levels out of them, right? So with the Google Pixel 4, this type of phone had that Snapdragon. It's interesting, these phones had Snapdragon chipsets back in the day. It had the Snapdragon 855 chipset inside with 6 gigabytes of RAM, where the Google Pixel 9 is giving you that Google Tensor G4 chipset inside. So the Pixel 9 is giving you a substantially better chipset inside, and that's just kind of what ends up happening, right? This is a way better chipset in every single way you can imagine it. I do miss the Snapdragon chipsets. I felt like they were good for a duration of time, but the Pixel 9 is going to be giving you a way faster phone in every single situation you can imagine it. Now, I will say with the benefit of the Pixel 9, this type of phone is a really, really good phone, right? It looks great, performs very well, and I love having a phone like the Pixel 9 because it's going to hold up very, very well for the long duration of time. Like that phone's going to be basically lasting forever, which is something I love having inside of that type of phone. With the Google Pixel 4, this type of phone, for the most part, not only is it like done getting software support, like it's never going to get another software update, natively, but you're also stuck in the situation where it's not really going to be like the performance isn't really going to be that good because of how old it is. So this again in and of itself is another one of those things to keep in mind there as well. So overall, what I'll definitely tell you is I love the Google Pixel 9 and I love the Pixel 4. I like both these phones. I didn't like the Pixel 4 when it first came out. Honestly, I thought it was okay. But the Pixel 9, I like it. It should be good because it's a brand new phone that just came out. But I would say if you have all the money in the world, go for the Pixel 9. Actually, go for the Pixel 9 Pro. That one is probably going to be the better one when it comes down to it. Inside of the Pixel 4, I think it's a good phone overall. It's good and everything, but it just makes so much more sense to go and buy something like a Google Pixel 9 or Pixel 8 or Pixel 7 or Pixel 6 or Pixel 5. So that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out, till then.